Hello, 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 everybody, and welcome. Hope you can hear me okay. Hope you can see me okay. Just gonna fiddle about with this microphone while I wait for people to join. Hi, everybody. Happy Christmas. Happy New Year. If I haven't spoken to you recently on Facebook or online or emails, and I've really been enjoying myself over the Christmas period. I've still got some Christmas cider left over, and yeah, the Samplecast has been off air for a little while, but I thought I'd put a live video together to keep things ticking over in the meantime. There will be a Samplecast show this week. Should be later on in the week, probably Thursday or Friday. There's loads to fit into it. But I realised a couple of days ago that I missed out on a few really good deals. There were some new releases and things as well, but I really wanted to highlight some of those. So this is my little recompense, basically. I'm going to jump on the live chat on Facebook and also on YouTube as well. And yeah, you'll be able to chat to me on YouTube and tell me what to do. Basically, I'm going to be looking at the Super Insane bundle from Soundiron. It's currently on offer over at Audio Plugin Deals. You can check out the link in the description of the video. And I'm going to go through all the instruments. Hopefully, I'll have time to. Haven't really got a time limit on this video, but we'll see what questions come up and what people want me to go over. So yeah, there's loads of products included with this, and it's 85% off. It's now $99. Normally retails for I think it's just over $500. Let me just check the Soundiron site and let me have a look. It says $674 on there for everything, which is possible. It's possible, I guess, but yeah, basically it's a pretty good deal. I've picked up some of these products over the years, and other ones obviously I've managed to get hold of through this deal. So there's 6 products in all. There's the Mars Symphonic Men's Choir. I've got these all loaded up. Well, not loaded up, but I've got them all selected over in Contact. We've got the Struck Grand, which is a piano, sort of hammered piano thing. The Traveller organ, which is a really kind of affected, crazy, old. I don't really know how to describe what it is. We'll come on to it. You'll see. The Beatboxer, which is kind of human beatbox noises. Soundiron Rust, which is a whole bunch of crazy percussion, mostly derived from metals, but there's a few other things in there as well. And the Montclarian Hall grand piano, which is a really lovely sounding piano that's been recorded in a lot of different microphone positions. All of these products, actually, I was about to say all of them I've played with before, but that's not strictly true. There's a couple that I picked up just from this deal. So I'm more familiar with some of them than others, but hopefully we'll go through and we'll have a look and see. So yeah, do join me on the chat if you're watching on the Samplecast website on the live page. Hello to you. Obviously you'll be able to see and hear everything that I'm doing, but you won't be able to chat to me and tell me what to do. So if you want to do that, do go over to the YouTube page. Just click it through into the video. It'll open up the live streaming bit in YouTube, and then you can talk to me on there. And I'm just gonna put a message on there to say hi to everybody and make sure that it's working. Anyway, so hi. Thanks for bearing with me with that long rambling introduction, but yeah, I'm going to get onto the sounds pretty soon. I've actually already been having a little play with this before I came on air, so to speak, and I started off playing with the piano, but yeah, if anybody wants to hear something else or something in particular, or want me to try and explain how aspects of the instruments work, then yeah, we can get on and do that. But I'm gonna start with the piano, and then yeah, pitch in on YouTube. Tell me what you want to hear, and we'll go through and I'll try and explain things as we go rather than just playing. The piano I've got loaded up at the moment is the Montclarian Hall piano. You can see on here I've tried to make it as easy as possible to see exactly what comes with the package. So you've got those 6 different instruments. They download as 6 separate libraries using the Continuata system, which works for me most of the time, but sometimes it messes up. But I didn't have any problems downloading any of this using Continuata this time around. So that was great. I was really happy with that because I've given that downloader a bit of a hard time in the past. Anyway, so you get 6 different libraries. They all run on the full version of Contact. If you've got the Contact player, skip this particular deal because you're not going to get any sound out of this after 15 minutes. You'll only be able to play the libraries with the 15-minute demo, but after that they will cease to play. So yeah, as I say, 6 libraries. The biggest one by far is the men's choir, the Mars men's choir. Audio Plugin Deals gave away the Venus. Gave away. They didn't give away anything. They did a bundle with the Venus choir a few months ago, and a lot of people picked that up. And at the time, I remember I had loads of people asking me various things about it, and I wasn't able to get a video together in time to explain what was going on. But that was available, so I know from chatting to composers over the last couple of weeks that a lot of people who picked up the Venus choir have also now picked up the Mars men's choir as well, which goes with it. I mean, it's basically exactly the same phrases and things like that. It's just the men's version instead of the women's. We'll come on to that a bit later. Let's get started with the Montclarian Hall. So the instrument files here. You've got 3 different microphone positions for this piano: close, mid and far. The actual patches are all split out to the various mic positions, so you can play them separately if you want to. So you can see these are the close instruments, the mid ones and the far ones. There's a few extras on the close, effects mainly, all of these here. I'll play through a few of those later. But the other patches are all the same, which means that you can load them up all 3 into your copy of Contact, or you can use the multis, which is what I've done here. There's plenty of different sounding multis, and obviously you can adjust the individual ones as well. So once you've loaded up a multi, you can actually go through. Let me do a just the full one to begin with. Anyone else hate that pop-up in Contact? So annoying that you have to do an extra press. Anyway, so the multi here loads up the close, the mid and the far pianos, and you can adjust the attack, the dynamics release. You can see all of that for yourself on there, but let's have a little play, see how it sounds. I'm going to turn off the mic actually while I do this. Please do come on the chat and let me know if the levels are okay. I don't want to hear all the playing noises. I really hate that when some people are doing their walkthrough videos. You can hear all the key presses, so I'll try and remember to mute the mic when I'm playing through. But I'll give a little bit of a tinkle. You can have a good old laugh at my lack of piano playing skills. I do think this is it's really a nice sounding piano. I like really to use more of the kind of the close and the mids and less of the far. The multis as standard have quite a lot of far baked in. Not baked in, just mixed in, if you see what I mean. And play them individually actually for a little bit. You can hear how wet those far ones are. It's really difficult to keep muting the microphone. Let me know if I don't have to do that. It's also difficult to play with the mic sat right above the keys. Anyway, that's the full patch. There's so many different variations of patches, it's going to take me ages to go through them all. Maybe I won't play every single one of the multis, because that means loading and unloading a big multi each time. The close have a nice sound of their own, really. There's lots of different kind of vibes there. Hey Scott, hello. Scott's just joined me on the chat. There's some really interesting affected pianos. What does this one do? I think it's a reversed one. Yeah. That one just goes on forever. There are different options for different systems, so that's just the standard close, but there is a high memory version as well, which I think from memory it's got more velocity layers or more dynamics, I don't know, something like that. A few more people joining me up on the chat. Hey guys. Maybe I should show you what some of the options do in the pianos. Let's go at the mids and I'll give you a quick look. So this is the standard high memory mid. There's also a light version as well. So there's a standard high memory and mid for each of the different positions. So you've got adjustable pedal volume. You can really hear that in the hall. Attack and release times. And then tone. I really like to use that tone to just boost the highs, take the mids out a little bit. You can bypass the EQ as well. There's also a reverb section. If you want to do onboard reverb, you can do. Adjustable dry and wet. Scott's asking me on the chat where I am at the moment. I'm in the UK. It's very, very cold at the moment. Although I suspect not as cold as it is in the US. Well, I don't suspect that at all. It is definitely not as cold here as it is in the US. I've seen it on the news. There's a few nice glissando patches. Nice kind of horror movie stuff. I like those. Let's just play through some of the multis again with the mic muted. So there's a few unusual ones. This is called Far Ambient. really like the sound of that one. I used that on something. I think it was an advert pitch. There was a teddy in the back of a car, and I had to play a really kind of sad, lonely lament for that little teddy. I used that for that. Scott's this beautiful. That one's a lot less beautiful. Plucks and slides. Crazy stuff. So you can see you don't just get a really nice piano with the Montclarian Hall. You get all those effects and things as well. It's something that I turn to for kind of Thomas Newman-y sorts of vibes. You're never going to get a kind of close pop piano sound out of this, but it's perfect for kind of wistful, cinematic. I hate that word, but it is good for cinematic stuff. I really like it. Yeah, it's a good instrument. I mean, I think a lot of people are going for this bundle. Well, certainly the people that I've spoken to have been going to it because of the choir. But I did want to highlight some of the extra libraries that you get as well, because the choir is great. The Mars choir, I think it's like $400 normally, and you can get this whole package for $99. People are thinking those other 5 instruments are kind of a bonus, but actually I love some of the stuff in those 5 instruments. Shall we stick with pianos? Let's get some opinions. I'll have a play with the Struck Grand, which is a whole different kind of vibe. It's got lots of affected tones within this. Have I just crashed it? No. I batch resaved all these, but because my drives are doing streaming and everything, it's taken a while to load them. That's some of the more unusual patches, but there are a lot of tuned patches as well. I'm not going to delve too much into the ins and outs of the interface, but you can do legatos and glides and bends, that sort of stuff. Very weird stuff if you are into that kind of thing. But these are the more standard patches in the tuned directory. So it's all kind of struck and picked piano stuff. This is a separate library to the Montclarian Hall. I like that. Give a kind of medieval vibe on that, no? The controls on this are, well, yeah, I mean, they're standard, aren't they? You've got octave up and down, and then the attack, release, decay controls, that sort of stuff. Someone's commenting, Scott, that it's very clean. It is a really lovely clean sound, actually. A lot of my piano playing I tend to do holding the sustain down. Just a nasty habit I've got into over the years, but there's not really an awful lot of noise build up with these in my experience. You know what some libraries are like, you can kind of hold the sustain down and that noise builds up and up. Not naming any names, but some producers are pretty bad at that, but these are nice and clean. And I've got 60-70 voices going there. Doing a big glissando is always a good test of noise. Someone's asking, what's the total gigabytes for this bundle? It is about 70, 75, I think. Most of that, as I say, is the choir, which I'm gonna come on to in a bit. But the other instruments are smaller, but they're nice. I think the Montclarian Hall piano is pretty big on its own, actually. There's a few other patches on this kind of hidden array. You've got strummed and glissando patches. And you can also use the strum and glissando options here. It's kind of arpeggios. You can see how that works. 1 second. If I can remember how to make it work. Come on, use your brain, Cornell. There you go. So you can do different chord shapes. As a strum. Or you can do, you can do an arpeggio as well. Been a while since I used this library, so I'm just reminding myself of how to do it. I can't work it out. These are the effects, by the way. Loads of different spaces. Crazy sort of convolution effects as well. Love that. Love, love, love. That is nice. Nice. I went to see some Shakespeare at the theatre yesterday. And they used that kind of sound on the music. Actually, it was really good. It was a Shakespeare company performance, but they did have a live orchestra, a very small sort of chamber orchestra. And there was somebody, I think, playing a dulcimer, but they had a big sort of delay on it, just like that. Nice kind of effect, I think. What haven't I shown you? The effects. There are some effects patches as well. Specific glissandes. That sort of thing. Harmonics. I've used these in something before. Couldn't tell you what, but I did use them with a lot of like space and crazy effects on there. What did I use them for? It's going to really bug me now, but I remember this sound. You know what it's like when you remember a sound and then you're like, what project was it? I remember delaying the hell out of it. Anyway, enough messing about with all these delays and things. Some weird effects there. So you basically got three different categories. The effects that you just heard, the sustains, which are really long sort of drony notes, and the tuned, which are more traditional hammered dulcimer, you know, that sort of thing. Cool stuff. I like that library. Loads more people just joining us for some strange reason. Hi, newbies. Let me tell you, actually, if you're just joining me new, on the Samplecast page, go over to YouTube and then you'll be able to chat on the chat and tell me what you want to hear. If there's anything that's piqued your interest in this bundle but you're not sure about whether you want it or not, I have it, so I can show you. The Traveller organ. This is one that I got with the bundle that I hadn't used prior to checking out this library. Cute. I know this has got some different articulations. Scott said the breakdown is $16.50 per library. That is true. That's very cheap, actually, isn't it? $16.50, blimey. Yeah, giving it away. I had somebody on Facebook mention about this library, the Traveller organ, that they love the effects rather than the actual organ itself, and I did have a play with it. I could see why. Hey John. Testify. Too loud. Vincent says, I just bought tonight an expensive library. I got money left. Do you mean I got no money left? That would make more sense, Vincent. I feel your pain. Nice stuff. I'm only playing the main patches, but there are loads of different articulations for these ones. There's also an ARP engine on board. It's not going to work well with this patch though. Let's try a different one. What's that song? Somebody tell me what that is. It's going to bug me. This is the arpeggiator. You can change the timings and swing and boost it up to, I think, 32. Yeah, 32 different velocities. Forgotten to mention the knobs at the bottom, actually. Attack, release, offset controls, vibrato, octave control. For doubling up stuff. Weird. But you get the idea. Cute interface. There's an effects rack as well. I've set my window too small. But it's got, I don't know if anyone remembers the old Soundiron libraries always used to have this effects rack, and I really love some of the stuff it can do. I also just like the design of it. It's kind of cool. Carol of the Bells? No. Not sure it is. That's the traveller organ. Okay, people asking about the choir, which of course that is going to be the case, because that is the biggie. This is the Mars Men's Choir, goes hand in hand with the Venus Choir, and actually the functionality is pretty much identical with those two choirs. It's been a while since I've used the choirs together, so I can't guarantee it's exactly the same, but I use them individually all the time. So anyone getting these choirs for the first time might be a little bit overwhelmed with the amount of different patches, but they're quite easy to negotiate. So this is the instruments folder. Ambiences are drones and shorts and effects, that kind of thing. Bonus percussion is exactly what it says. It's sort of patches that have made percussion out of the original choir samples. The choir has then been split into two separate microphone positions. You've got hall and stage, and all of the patches that you've got are available for hall and stage, and you've also got combo patches, of which there are loads. I'm going to concentrate on either the hall or the stage, or might flick between them. Scott says, I guess the next $99 deal will be the female choir. I don't know, but probably not, because the Venus female choir for this was already on offer a few months ago, Scott. So you're not going to get that reappearing in a hurry, I don't think. Cammy has set him straight, but yeah, you're probably not going to get that from audio plugin deals very soon, but might pop up via something else. You never know, you might get some loyalty thing from Soundiron as well. So yeah, back onto the patches. Let's look. Basically, the combo hall and stage folders all have the same patches in. They're just different microphone versions of them. Vincent Lavaney says, where are you from? I'm from just outside of London. Okay, so these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 folders are in the in each of the hall and stage. I said this was easy to understand, but I'm not explaining it very well. So are in each of the hall and stage folders, and they look like this. So you've got phrases, you've got sustains, you've got staccatos, you've got marcatos, you've got the entire section, and you've also got soloists as well. And the soloists I really love the soloists. So what do people expect from a choir library? You expect ums, ahs, ers, ohs, that sort of thing, and you've got all of those. The easiest thing to do is just open the sustains and go for it, basically. Am I going to have to open this? Let me just extend this window a tiny bit. There we go. So here are your different layers. There's, oh my god, 6 different types of R's. Just get on and play with it, come on. You've got swells on all of these as well. This is without the legato, by the way. Different R's. E's. E's, A's, R's. What? How do they go? M's, O's. So you can access all of the different vowel sounds just by twiddling that knob, or of course you can assign it if you want to something. Easy peasy. Somebody commenting, nice sounds, but there's many different patches. It doesn't seem that convenient. I would disagree with that, because actually I've set it up myself with various different tracks that I've done, and you probably find yourself only using 1 or 2, maybe 3 of the patches, because there is versatility within the patches. So normally I have a sustain set up, like now with the controller, an external controller controlling what type of sustain you get. And I have another patch with one of the phrase builders. I'll come onto that separately. Maybe a soloist as well. But a lot of these patches have the same words. They're just different speeds of sounds, depending on the tempo of your track. Anyway, I'll get onto that in a bit. At the bottom, convolution reverb. Geez, these things sound lovely with a bit of reverb on them. Really nice. That's without the reverb. And with the reverb. Super. Effects. You've got EQ, delay, reverb, and cutoff for the vowels. And help screen as well. You will need this to begin with. The manual's pretty good though. So one of the main things which I haven't touched on yet is most of the patch have 2 different layers. So just playing one there. Oh my god, that sounds so weird. Okay, there we go. Turn the effects off. So yeah, just playing one. But there's a high layer and a low layer, and then you can crossfade between them. So you can set those 2 to different vowel sounds, and you can use your expression pedal, which does the cross blend. So listen. Nicey. You could do it between 2 different R's. I always think that sounds quite nice. Gives it a bit more variety. Because there's a soft R and a louder R. Is that too quiet? Can you guys hear that? So that's the crossfading. Really nice. Legato. So legato works really nicely with this product, and you can do legato on pretty much all of the patches. but there is a little tiny bit of setup involved depending on what you're playing. So it's an intelligent legato, and you can use it polyphonically, but you need to set up the range and the polyphony depending on what you're going to play. Well, you don't have to, but if you want proper legato, that's what you're going to have to do. Vincent Laverny, play those with strings. You know what? I've just cleaned out all my libraries on this version of Contact, so there's no strings there, but you can imagine what it sounds like with strings. So legato. Let's use the R. I'm going to turn off the convolution reverbs just so you can see how smooth this is. So, on its own, no great shakes, but I'm going to put legato on, turn up the range. This is the key range between which the legato will trigger. So if you're only playing a solo line, for example, you put the polyphony for 1 and the range to whatever you want. But if you were doing like a dual line, you could do that as well. So you've got to make sure you sort of play within that range, and that's going to give you the best sound. So I did a demo for Mars, and it didn't take too long to set that up, because once I'd programmed the notes that I wanted, I had a look at the intervals and the range, and I just set that to a rough amount, exactly what it was going to be. The song you were asking for was the Badineri by J.S. Bach, Suite Number 2 in B minor. My goodness, you are good. That man gets a medal. Well done. So yeah, I'm going to leave off the sustains for a minute, because it's really easy to hear that legato in action if I use the soloists. Soloists are hard things to sample, but I really like how they've done it in Mars. So these are the phrases.
Ave Maria, gratia plena.
And you select them the same way, and you can crossfade again like I did before.
Rosa sine Christi templum existi.
So you could sort of crossfade between two solo phrases. That sounds a bit weird, but if you got the timing right, it could be cool.
Rosa sine sina.
So because it's a soloist, you could do like a trio, a duo, something like that. But you can also play in legato if you want to. So this is legato with a soloist. So you set the polyphony to 1, switch the legato on, put your range to whatever the note range is that you're going to play.
Salvatoris Christi templum existi. Salvatoris Christi templum existi.
And depending on how fast you play, you'll want to adjust that crossfade. So this is the crossfade times between the different notes.
Salvatoris Christi, Salvatoris Christi.
So it does a good approximation of being able to play melodies whilst singing in a solo fashion as well. And if you add a bit of reverb, you can pretty much get away with it.
Salvatoris Christi templum existi.
You get the idea?
Tut civitas regis justitiae.
So if you play within that range of 5 semitones, then you'll get a legato transition. If not, as you heard there, you'll get the phrase starting again.
Tut civitas regis justitiae.
Someone says, very good quality, but hard to use except in a specific project. Again, I wouldn't really agree, and especially for the price. as somebody said earlier, $16 for this product. If you break it down in terms of what you're paying for each product, I mean, how many times you just need standard staccatos, standard ums, ahs, and that sort of thing. It's just a lovely recorded library. Let me play some of those staccatos actually. It's quite a few. You can double them as well for a fuller choir. Oops, that is wrong. If you want them a bit softer, you can use the attack switch there. Nice. So you can string all those staccatos together using one of the engines here. Where's it gone? The Marcato Builder. This is another element of the library that I don't think a lot of people touch on, but it's kind of cool. So you can build your own Marcato sounds from individual tiny bits of syllables. It's a bit like the phrase builder in something like East West, but I'm well known for pretty much hating that library. But it works in a slightly different way. So you've got your initial starting sound, which can be R, E, A, O, U, M, all of those, and then the attack portion of the sound, the sustain portion of the sound, and the release, with adjustable volumes as well. So if you wanted a really specific sound, you could do that. You could do T, T, E, S, T, S. And it will hold whilst you hold the note down for that sustain. Or if you want a different ending to that note. That's possible too. She could do that. The only one thing I would say about this library is that the text is on my 5K monitor is pretty small to read. So when it comes to the Marcato Builder, I'm having to squint a little bit, but yeah, I can see more or less what's going on. Somebody wants to hear the mms. I can do that, not a problem. Might show you off the pad utility actually. Let's hear some mms, things that make you go things that make you go ah. Well, are there any mms in the pad utility? I can't remember. This is for creating more sort of pad-like washers, not what he's asked for. Happy New Year, a couple of people saying. Kai Rosenkrantz. Hey Kai. Where's the mms? Where's the mms? Where are the mms? Oh, there they are. Okay. Here are some mms. Nice. Don't forget you can use that crossfade. What about with or? Not that one. Ooh them. Ooh with This is a real tongue twister. lovely stuff. Gosh, time is running away with me, and I have not covered a lot of the stuff in this yet. I really want to try and show as much of it as possible to use. There's clusters. There's kind of horror sounds. Zombie effects. Zombie effects. Like anyone's going to buy this for zombie effects, but you never know. And not just those. I mean, there's loads. There's hordes, and hordes. 6 different types of hordes. You can crossfade between them as usual. Someone's saying, turn on the light. What light? Do you mean the light in my room? In my studio? Okay, there's some stuff I want to go over. Oh gosh, there's whispers and drones as well. This is a massive library. If you're not picking this up for what is $16 or equivalent, I don't know, you're crazy. There must be a reason it's called the super insane deal, and I guess that is the reason. Yeah, amazing deal. And it's something that I have used for a long time, this library, and it never lets me down. Sometimes I find it a little bit fiddly if I was doing massive choral stuff, but it's nothing that wouldn't be any more fiddly on another library. I'm going to play a bit more ums for whoever it was that wanted ums. I can't remember. There's a legato version of it as well. It has proper legato transitions. There's a whole legato folder. Can't skip over that. Everyone loves legatos. Nice. But there's all different options, different combinations, because they pre-programmed the crossfade. So this one is R's to ums, this one's R's to oohs, that sort of thing, because they want to get those true legato transitions in there. I would wonder actually if Soundiron would eventually update this library with a slightly different interface and maybe combine some of these patches. They might do that. That would be cool. Nice. Those are the mixed patches, but there are just single ones as well if you fancy those. There's also light versions of all the patches, which just use a bit less memory. I think you can do polyphonic legato on this, but not with these patches. You can do polyphonics here, yeah. So polyphonic phrases in Latin and Slavic as well. Do you really need the full version of Contact? Yes, you do. I mean, the thing with Contact is that sample library companies pay quite a lot of money to Native Instruments to use their engine if they're going to want their products in the libraries tab. So they're paying a license fee for every single product that is sold. If it's a library that will only run, in Contact Player. So For a company to sell a product like this at such a massive discount, I mean the amount that they're getting for the sale is probably not even going to cover their licensing cost for Native Instruments. So that's why, especially I think in some of the cases, that you're getting products which will only run in the full version of Contact because they don't have to pay that licensing fee to Native Instruments. And I mean the savings are then passed on to you. If you only have Contact Player, do seriously think about picking up the full version of Contact, Vincent, because it's going to open up a huge amount of possibilities of free libraries. There's so much free stuff out there. A lot of these good deals that come out, they have the you have to use the Contact Player for those. So yeah, I'd really think about it. So the Mars Polysustains are one of my favourite patches, the Latin and the Slavic ones. These are all the different words. And this is the slow set of patches. There's a slow, medium, and fast. So there's a long, fast, and slow. And these are the slow ones. But you can do that legato trick, as I showed before, with these patches as well. With some Soundiron libraries, you can have a cross-grade price for Contact. Yeah, I assume you mean the Contact Player version. Can you do that with this? I would be interested to know, so I am going to check it out right now for you. Because what's the point of me sitting here with absolutely no idea what I'm talking about? Let's see whether that is possible. It does just say Contact for Mars. It says Contact version required, full version. I know what you're thinking of. I know what you're thinking of, Cami, because they did the Emotional Piano, which was originally full version only. Then they upgraded it to player, and I think they did it with a couple of other libraries as well. But as far as I can see from the Soundiron site, there is not an option to go Contact Player with this product, even if you pay them. I don't think that is an option, but I'm quite happy to be corrected by Soundiron. Maybe they'll chime in on the video at some point. You never know who's listening. So I want to try and demo the polyphonic legato with the phrases, because that's something I do like to use. Let's set a smaller range here. Polyphony to 3, because I'm playing 3 notes. That works nicely. And you could also cross blend if you wanted. Sounds nice, no? And that's without any convolution, without any reverb, without anything like that. I just think this library sounds good out of the box. And don't forget, I've only been playing the Hall patches. Maybe I should have a whiz over to the stage ones. It's a well, they're not massively different, but it does give a kind of different vibe. You can see the interface is different for the Hall patches. Sorry, for the Slavonic patches. It's a bit of a closer sound, the stage patches. Probably best demoed with the staccatos. So I mentioned before those combo patches. They load as multis. So yeah, the differences are subtle, but they are there. So you can use any of the patches that I've been playing there. You can load the combi ones. The only disadvantage of this library, I would say, in that if you're wanting to use the two microphone positions together, you've got to make adjustments on both the hall and the stage patches at the same time. If you want to use them just out of the box, fine, they'll play. But yeah, obviously if you were doing adjustments, you've got to do them on one patch, then you've got to do them on the other patch as well, which is a bit of a pain. So I tend not to use the combi patches unless I'm just going to use them out of the box, or I'm just going to do minimal tweaking. I tend to just use the hall or the stage, and then use reverb and stuff on top of that. Seems to work quite well. So that's the combi. So this is the hall, and this is the stage. You can hear the difference. You can for sure hear the difference there. So let's go back to those Slavic phrases. There's also a time machine version, a time stretched version of those phrases that will sync to your host DAW. So if you adjust the BPM, craziness. Let me adjust that for a minute. Legato one. Yeah, you can go a little bit crazy with that. But loads of different phrases. What's going on? I've broken it. Reset. Oh. I've got two patches loaded, that's why. What an idiot. This is why I don't use the combo patches. They confuse me a little bit. So, phrase building. Everybody loves phrase building, and you've got that in fluffy audio libraries. Stress of sampling libraries do it. As far as I'm concerned, they all took their cues from Mars and Venus, because that came out a few years ago, and it's pretty good with the old phrase building. It works in a slightly different way to the stuff you might be used to from Strezov, but it's pretty similar. It's got a really weird design. First off, it's got these little dolls at the bottom that open up as the phrases play. You can fit a lot of different phrases on there. You've got up to, I think, 16 phrases. You've got up to 16 different slots, which can have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16 times 16 steps, and you've got marcato and staccato versions of the phrases. So, amen, o crux, ris, e, a, sa. That's going to sound rubbish, but let's try it anyway. Amen, o crux, ris, e, a, sa. So those are staccatos, but you could do marcatos for some of them, or all of them, or whatever you wanted to, and they'll hold as you hold the notes down. Amen. Horcrux, like Harry Potter. So that's just one of the phrases. You've got, as I say, up to 16 different ones that you can program, and then you can assign them all to key switches, and you can select them on key switches at the bottom. So if you wanted to do that, phrase 2, you could fill it up with, I don't know, whatever you wanted, all sorts of different things. So you get like phrase 1, then switch to 2. I like the marcatos, I like the staccatos, but yeah, I prefer the marcatos, I think, because you can hold them and you can make more interesting things out of them. And as you can see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, about 20 different elements of the phrases that you can use. Flexible, really flexible. You can't, as far as I know, within the phrase builder, change move notes whilst one part of a phrase is playing, as far as I know. You probably have to come out and do that within one of the other patches. But yeah, for quick and dirty staccatos, just for really quick, kind of impressive Bayonetta soundtrack sort of stuff, it's going to be good for that. You get the idea. What haven't I shown you yet? I really want to go back to the soloists because I like them, but maybe people are bored of listening to the soloists. There's just a lot of phrases in Latin and Slavic, slow, longs, and staccatos as well. Yeah, I like them. I just like these. It's the sort of thing which comes as just waves in other libraries, but it's nice to be able to manipulate them here and use the legato to a certain extent. Latin ones are nice. And I forgot to say before that you could change the tuning of these with the red key switches at the bottom there. You get the idea. 3 phrases playing together sounds really weird, but you get the idea. Trying to go through as much as possible in a shorter time. But I've already been chatting for an hour and a quarter. Last bit of this choir library, just to finish up with the whispers and drones. Nice long Latin-y style drones. Prayers mostly. And then they continue. If you're scoring it too, this is what you're going to need. Yeah. I think it's a bit of a shame because the audio plugin deals site doesn't really go into so much detail, and that's kind of one of the reasons why I want to put this video together, because I know that loads of people have been asking me questions on Facebook and Messenger about this, and they've just not been able to get the information. So that's why I want to jump on this and kind of show it off a little bit. Bonus percussion. These are little extra stuff. Sounds derived from the original vocal samples and twisted a bit. Dong 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 dong. And I like the ambiances. I've used these on a few different things. Don't know if anyone remembers Zero G Ethera that came out. I gave it a bit of a rough ride on the Samplecast. because of a few bugs and niggles, but these sounds remind me quite a lot of the content in there. Too loud. And with this first drones patch, you can adjust between the different effects, and you can do that cross blending thing as well, which I love. So lovely. I mean, once you start adding effects onto that and reverb, you're getting a sort of lovely drone effect. I like it a lot. And it's all derived from those original vocal recordings. I've been going on for an hour and 10 minutes and there's still loads of people watching. Hey everybody, well done for sticking with it. I hope you're finding something useful. Again, as I say, if you're watching via the Samplecast website, do go to the YouTube stream and you can chat. Tell me what you want to hear. Is that enough of the choir? Is everyone satisfied? I don't know. Let's have a listen to Rust. There's a few different Rust libraries from Soundiron. Can't remember how many. I'm going to have a look on the site and see. Let me see. There are three Rust libraries. And this is Rust 1, which is a kind of ensemble. How to describe it? Yeah, it does lots of different stuff. Everything's made from metals, scraped metals, hit metals, that sort of stuff. There's a drones patch, well, ambience as they call it here. We can combine different layers, blend between them. You've got a whole bunch of effects on there as well that you can add if you want to. Oops. What am I doing? There we go. Reverb, convolution. You know the drill by now. You've got LFOs as well that can automate the cutoff. That sort of thing. All the usual stuff you can expect from Soundiron, which is good sounds and a whole bunch of crazy effects to throw into them. So that's just the ambiences. The ensembles really where the kind of meat is of this library. Lots of different percussion ensembles. The kind of things that you're going to use for hybrid scoring, action, little ticky-tacky sort of stuff as well. You can use the arpeggiator to give it a bit of movement. If I can work it out. There we go. Come on. But there's lots of different sounds. I'm not going to go through them all. It's not as big as the choir library. It's all useful stuff though. I suspect it's just Soundiron going through the garage, beating the hell out of stuff. Dung 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 dung. Some of them serve nicely as drums. And then there's a big master section where everything is loaded all at the same time. Less variation, but more instruments. And you can mix and match exactly what you want. Just choose what you want on each set of keys. So mineshaft, chairs. See how it works? So we're using those 3 or 4 keys at the bottom there, adjusting what we want on them. So you can build your own custom ensembles. What is this library? It's Rust. Yes, it is Rust. Rust 1. That is the case. And they've made some of these into tuned percussion patches as well. So spread out the samples all across the keyboard. So if you wanted to use them as kind of melodic instruments, you could do. This is where the arpeggio comes in useful. Crazy old stuff. There is another master one which I like, which I do use a lot. I can't remember which one it is. Maybe this one. It's the untuned kind of more bombastic stuff. I mean, all these are smaller metal instruments, but the way they've affected them is this one. Does give them a kind of, you know, epic hybrid quality. Some of these are more epic than others. You get the gist of it. So what am I going to do? I'm going to save the weirdest to last. This is Beatbox, which you get thrown in as well. Not sure I've ever used this library. I didn't have it prior to getting hold of this bundle, but it's interesting. It's a library that has sampled some beatbox experts basically, and they've made it into percussion kits. So for example, here are the beatbox kicks. And they're all split out like that initially. Don't fear, you don't have to use them all individually. Just to give you an idea of the separate samples. That's someone's mouth doing a turntable. Clever. Very odd. But yeah, the thing I find most useful about these samples are basically the loops. Kind of give a bit of organic colour to other tracks, and when they're hidden in amongst other bits of percussion, you're not really aware that they're kind of beatbox samples, but they give a nice kind of organic sound to things. They're all tempo synced. You can change the start and end position. The pitch. There's loads of them spread across the keyboard. And you've got sequencing options. Now I know that I know how this works with the individual samples, but I'm not sure with the loops. I'm not going to try it. There's also mixing options for the different mics. I mean, the first one is as a hip hop performer, beatbox performer would hold that very close to his lips. but there is also one that's sort of an overhead mic too. I believe that's how it works. And then the FX rack that we looked at in a couple of the other libraries. Soundiron have taken those beatbox samples, they've run them through glitching processes as well, making them a bit more interesting. These make kind of nice hybrid samples, I think. There's hundreds of them. Which libraries are left to listen to? I think this is the last one, actually, Vincent. Beatbox, I'm going through now. Yeah, that's the last one of the 6. Save the weirdest one till last. I'm going to show you the master mix of the beatbox finally. You can set up the mapping of this for different drumming libraries, drumming packages. So if you use Studio Drummer or Easy Drummer, Superior Drummer, you can set it up to the mapping of those if you prefer. There's also lots of MIDI loops which come with the library. Can I show you those? Let me see. And they have been designed by Sasha and a few other people that I recognise. Oh, there you go. So they come courtesy of Dirk. Hey Dirk, if you're watching. Simon Begg, Sean Gordon, Brad Jenkins, and Sasha. They basically are MIDI files that you can drag in to your DAW and use with the Beatboxer ensemble. And then of course you can use this just as a standard drum kit playing across the keys. I am not a beatboxer. Does that surprise you? I don't know how to play this. Yeah, a lot of crazy stuff across the keyboard there, but you can change it all. Set up your own mapping. That sort of affair. Not going to get into that too much. I'm not sure how useful the individual beatbox samples are going to be to somebody who buys this pack, but they're there. They're there if you want them. As I say, the highlight is Mars. It's the big choir. It's the it's the standout of this pack. It's available from Audio Plugin Deals. I am very, very late in covering this, so you are only going to have, I think, only a day or so if you want to pick up this library, pick up this bundle. So yeah, do think about it, and I'd love to hear what your thoughts are. Do contact me on Facebook. You can find me on Facebook at the Samplecast page. Just type in the Samplecast, you'll find me, or you can get me via Ruben Cornell or drop a message underneath this video. I'll keep it up for a couple of days. Beyond that, there's not much point because the bundle's going to be only available for the next couple of days. So yeah, if you're thinking about it, in terms of the choir and the pianos, I wouldn't hesitate, and the others are just really nice little bonuses. The traveller organ Rust is nice for crazy little percussion stuff, and the Beatboxer, fun to play around with. The glitch loops I think will find a home in some hybrid scoring, but yeah, it's a pretty good all-rounder, and there's a lot of $99 deals from audio plugins every couple of weeks, and this is one of the better ones that I've seen, and it's one of the ones that I've had the most questions about via email and via the Samplecast Facebook page and just via personal messages. So yeah, I was really hoping I'd get an hour or so to be able to demo this to you guys, and hopefully you've managed to get something out of it. If you want to pick up the deal, description link is below, and yeah, let me know how you get on, and I will sign off for now. Thank you everybody for watching and commenting and give me your thoughts. I hope that's been informative, not too long and boring. and I shall see you again. Don't forget the Samplecast is out, hopefully this week. See you soon. Bye.